everyone, and welcome back to STEM Simplified. This is episode 1 of our brand new series, and today you'll build your own personal website using HTML and CSS. This is an extremely beginner-friendly lesson, so don't worry if you don't know about these coding languages. So let's get started with the basics. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's like the skeleton of your website. It tells the browser what each part of your page is, like a heading, a paragraph, or an image. We use tags to organize everything neatly. This is also where we write all the labels, text, and also everything you basically see visually on your website. Now, what is CSS? CSS, or Cascading Style Sheets, controls how things look. Think colors, fonts, spacing, and layout. It's the design layer that brings your website to life. Without it, every page would look like a boring document. Think of it as the outfit of your website. Let's look at the image on the right. Without styles, it looks very basic and just like a written font. With styles, however, it looks so much more put together. There's colors, there's descriptions, there's different sizes, colors. It's just all so much better. It looks like a pro made this website. And that's exactly what I will be teaching you in this episode. Now, let's look at some core HTML tags. These are the building blocks of your HTML file. You start with doctype HTML. This tag tells the browser what language you're using. Then everything goes inside the HTML tag. The head tag holds setup stuff, like the title and your CSS file link. This is the things that you won't be seeing and is just essential metadata that the computer will be looking at and interpreting. Now, once we close the head tag, we open the body tag. This is where all the fun, visible content lives. Now, each tag in HTML is written with a less than sign, then the actual tag name inside it, and ends with a greater than sign. This is the syntax for an opening tag. Now you actually have to end the tag as well. And inside the opening and ending tags is everything that you want to be filled inside of it. Now, the closing tag syntax is opening less than sign, a slash, the tag name, and then the greater than sign. I know this sounds like a lot, but in this episode, I'll teach you the extreme basics, but also so that at the end of this video, you can have your own basic website. Before we move on, I would recommend you to open up 2 things. One being my end code example website, which I will be showing you later in this video, but I've provided you access to it in the description box for you to view side by side. I also recommend you open up your own JavaScript playground, which is the platform I use to code my projects, so you can work on your website along with me. The link to the website to open in your own JavaScript playground will also be linked down below. Don't worry, because with practice, everything will begin to make more sense, and it'll all work out. So now, let's move on to learning the rest of the basics. Now, let's talk about text. Headings are how you organize your content, like chapter titles. Heading 1 is the biggest tag, and heading 6 is the smallest heading tag. And the P tag is for your main paragraph text. These help structure your site so it's easier to read and make sense to your visitors. Now, let's talk about CSS. Here's time to add some style. First, create a new file called styles.css. Then, in the head tag of your HTML file, link it with this line of code. That connects with your HTML content to your custom design. Now, the .css in the style CSS sheet is basically just for the website itself to know what language you're coding in. For now, don't worry about what the link rel style sheet href style CSS means, but right now just copy and paste it in for your code to actually work and link. I will explain what all this means in a later episode. Now, let's look at some basic styling from CSS. In your CSS file, you target elements by their tag names. Then you add style rules in curly braces. For example, you can change the background color, center your text, or pick a fun font all in a few lines code. Now, on the left, we can see my code that gives the result on the right. So, I basically have my tag, which is body, and then curly braces. Inside the curly braces is all the properties that I want to change. In this case, background color. Then we change it to the color itself, which is Alice blue. Similarly, we change the H1 tag. Inside curly braces, we change the color to blue violet. As you can see, background color and color are 2 different things. Background color changes the background or the border of it, and the color itself changes the text or the font color. This is just basic. There are so many more fonts and properties that we will learn later on. Now, we have learned all the basics you need to make your basic first website. So without further ado, let's go make your website. I already made my first website. This is just an example of what you can do. I would like you to open up your own website. You could do something different, or you could use my same template and write all the code yourself on a separate JavaScript playground. This is useful because you need practice making how to actually make a website. So I would recommend you to either copy this or change some text up just to get the basic gist of it. So now, let's check out what the finished website code and what it actually does. At the top, we name the site My First Website. This is inside the head tag, if you can notice. This also, when we open it in a new tab, will take you to the top, and the tab itself will say My First Website. Now, let's go into the body tag and see what's actually visible on our site. Now, we have an H1, which if you can recall is the largest heading. This says My First Website. The page starts with a bold and friendly heading that says My First Website. This is your site's welcome message, and we've made this an H1. If you can recall from our previous slide, we learned that H1 is the largest heading, which is usually the title. We start writing this in the body because this is the first thing that comes up on our website. Under that, I have 2 P tags, or paragraphs messages. This talks about what you're actually doing, which is I'm learning to build websites with STEM Simplified. Then we also have a playful message, which is kind of like an update on what will happen soon. Now, this is the basic HTML. As you can see, it's only 17 lines of code, but you might be wondering where the color's coming in. Now, remember, that's where CSS comes in. So let's go to our CSS tab right here. Now, this is all the CSS that I have included in my website. Inside the body tag, we have changed the background color to this color. This is a light teal color, and basically you can put in text colors which are already preloaded, or you can go to Google Color Picker and put in whatever hex code you want. The whole page has this light teal background and nice spacing so nothing feels squished. The text is centered and uses a clean, friendly font. The heading is dark teal and larger so it stands out, and the paragraphs are slightly smaller and easier to read with space between them. Now, all of the rest of these are also properties, like text align center, font family with the font, and the amount of padding. That is all for the body text. Now, inside it, we have different properties for the heading one, which is changing the color of the actual title, as well as the size of it. We've also changed the font size, the color, and the margin of the paragraph text. Now, we've seen this website, so let's go back and learn more. Now that we're back, first of all, I want to congratulate you because you just made your first website, or at least learned how to make your own website. Now, let's go on. Here's a disclaimer. Basically, I only taught you in this video a basic snippet, a basic sneak peek of what CSS has to offer. It has so much more, like colors, fonts, spacing, layouts, animations, hover effects, so much. Oh my god. So here's a quick heads up that don't worry and feel discouraged that we've only learned this basic stuff. This is the first episode and more will be coming in the coming episodes. But I will be linking the link to this tricks.com page, which takes you to all the property of CSS. And you can explore that on your own time as well, but I will be teaching you later on. Now, let's recap what you learned today. You accomplished a lot. So here's what you learned today. HTML gives your site its bones. CSS gives it the style. Together, they help you build something that feels totally yours. Congratulations, your first personal website is live. Thank you so much for coding with me on STEM Simplified. Next episode, we'll upgrade your site with images, clickable links, and layout tricks to make it seem like a real homepage. See you soon and keep creating.